Good evening, everyone, and I hope your quarantine is going well. I am drained. Jeez. Whew, this is actually tougher than we all probably thought. So, since we're all getting a little bit store crazy, I know that a lot of our wonderful parents are mainlining wine at this point, this fine evening, and I want to do one more installment of a nice, happy, light, refreshing cocktail because I know for me mentally right now, my kid just went to sleep and I am exhausted. Really, it's been. I happen to have this wonderful 5-year-old who's one of those kids who never stops speaking, and I love him. I love him, but wow, whew, never stops speaking. I have no idea who he gets that from. Probably from me, but I want to do a quick cocktail with you folks, which is actually super easy, super light. Last time we had an opportunity to do a pisco sour, which was just refreshing and smelled so great. I want to stay with that theme, and I want to make something that's easy that most of you can probably make at home, and it's going to really kind of refresh you and give you that energy at 9 o'clock when your kids finally actually drop down and go to sleep. So today I wanted to make with you a Moscow Mule. Fun story about the Moscow Mule, it's actually not from Moscow, and it has almost nothing to do with Russia whatsoever, with the exception of probably vodka. So fun story, it actually originates from Manhattan, and it got its name most likely, nobody really knows, but most likely because it contains about 1.5 ounces of vodka. Okay, let's get started. So first of all, Moscow Mule, what are we gonna have in there? We're gonna need our ice, we're going to need our ginger beer. I'm a huge fan of this one in particular. Hope you guys can see it. It's from Trader Joe's, and it has a little bit of extra ginger pulp, which I absolutely love, and it's medium spice. So you can play around with spice levels, but your ginger beer is going to be probably the key, absolutely the key to your Moscow Mule. So if you want to play around with it, get the spicier ones, the middle ones, the milder ones, and kind of get it to your taste. For me, middle is the way to go, and the more sort of citrus I'm going to put in there, the more lime, it's also going to really lift up the drink. So ice, ginger beer, I already mentioned vodka, and lime, and it's nice and easy. That's it. That's all you need for this cocktail, and it's going to be refreshing, lift you up, and it's going to smell absolutely amazing. Let's get started. So first things first, you will need your cutting board. Here's a little trick that I've learned while I cook, and I did mention in my first video that I actually love to cook. A damp paper towel, throw it on your kitchen counter, and it's going to keep your board versus how it slides. It's going to keep it nice and sturdy, and it's not going to go anywhere. So first things first, we're going to need our measuring cup. The top portion is about 1 ounce. So, and our vodka. I'm using Grey Goose today because it's very smooth and it doesn't have any extra flavor. If you want to mess around a little bit more and you want to play with flavors, you can get the fig-based vodkas, or I think in the back I have cucumber-based, but personally I prefer these ones more for mojitos, as they kind of play better with the sugars there. So first things first, we're gonna need our lime for juice. One of the cool tricks that I've learned with lime also is that you want to roll it. The more you sort of roll it out, the more you're going to get juice out of it, okay? So once you rolled out your lime, grab your paring knife, cut it in half. Nice and easy. Grab your juicer. And there we go. Squeeze out your juice. This will be about 1 ounce. You want to go maybe a little bit less, maybe 1/2 ounce. So this is somewhere in between. It's about 2/3 of 1 ounce, because I like a little bit more smell, a little bit more flavor that goes in there from the lime. Now, after the lime, what you want to do is you want to get your vodka and your ginger beer ready. So for vodka, you're going to go 1.5 ounces. So there goes first ounce. And then there goes our 1/2 ounce. You can play around with your alcohol. I don't necessarily always advise it because the balance is important. As I mentioned, I think in the last video, you really want to have a balance of flavor. So 1.5 ounces of vodka. Afterwards, you want to add your ice. For this drink, the type of ice, I know in the last one I mentioned sort of different types, really doesn't matter. The standard one that comes out of your refrigerator will do just fine. So you want to mix it up. You can get your shaker at this point, shake it around, just to get it all cooled down. You can get your cup ready. Pour it all in. Now, here you have a couple of options. I prefer to put a wedge or two inside. I think it gives a little bit more flavor. And I cut it into quarters or even smaller if you wish. And it kind of gives a little bit more flavor into the drink. Also will give a little bit more sort of substance in there, and you're pretty much done. At this point you add your ginger beer. And you add your final wedge. Now if you want to get sort of more taste and more flavor, make sure you brush the rim a little bit with your lime. Put it down. Now, typically, I think I left my spoon out, but that's okay. Just want to mix it in to make sure that all of our flavors are fully mixed in. Add a little bit more ice. And don't worry, I washed my hands for 20 plus seconds. Actually, multiple times before I started this. So you add a little bit more ice. Mix it one more time. And there goes your Moscow Mule. Enjoy, folks. And as I always do, oh, that is killer refreshing, like you're somewhere in a tropical island. L'chaim, cheers everyone. Cheers DCC Brooklyn.